Hi, and welcome to the Barney Chronicles. So, as you'll be aware, and probably the reason for clicking on this video, prices are increasing on Mounjaro from the 1st of September. This video isn't for me to guess on how much it's going to cost, give you any price lists, or even talk about the political side of things or why it's happening. Firstly, I know very little about politics. Secondly, I've seen around 8 to 10 different price lists at this stage. So I didn't want to fill this space with more noise or speculation on what's happening. The only certainty is the prices are going to increase. So this video is more about how I'm getting the most out of my dosage and realistically making the pen as cost effective as possible moving forward, because it is going to be more of a struggle, of course. Now, this again is what I've been doing and what I've found worked. As always, it's not what you should be doing, just what I've found beneficial for me. If you are going to consider doing anything off-label, against what Eli Lilly recommend for the pens, always seek professional advice rather than taking social media for gospel, of course. So although I won't go into the pricing or what people believe the prices are going to be, the one thing I have done is not stockpile Mounjaro. I think panic buying Mounjaro is definitely the wrong move. From what we understand, I think it is the higher concentration or the higher strength pens that are going to have the biggest price increase. So I think personally, as it is going to go up in price anyway, wait until we understand the prices makes more sense. But I have bought 2-3 extra pens just to keep me going for a couple of months, so I can either save up for the increase in price or work out exactly what that's going to look like. So I know there's a lot of fear mongering on social media at the moment, I get that, and I know that it's a worry, especially people that are early on or just starting out their journey. But it makes sense to maybe get a couple extra, but then wait till we know the prices, because at the moment it is very speculative. There are prices out there, but how accurate they are, we don't know. And also it's just cost price, so what the actual pharmacies will put on top of that, we don't know. There are some suppliers that will offer kind of bundles or increasing strength pens, a couple of months supply. Looking at that can be beneficial, yes, but I think going through multiple suppliers to get a huge stockpile of pens, probably not the right move, but each their own, of course. If you're new to the channel, it's the first time watching one of my videos, firstly, thank you. At the moment, around 80% of people watching my videos aren't subscribed. If you like the content and you want to see more, please, hit the subscribe at the bottom, do the notification-y thingy. Of course, it all helps really grow the channel. My name's Scott. I'm 38 years old. 5'8", and at the start of taking Mounjaro, weighed just over 100 kilos or 220 pounds. I've managed to lose 20 kilos or 45 pounds in the 19 weeks I've been taking Mounjaro. So I am one of the lucky ones, whereas I'm now at that maintenance stage. But even at maintenance, I'm going to be on this journey for another 6 to 12 months realistically, as it's not only helping with my maintenance of the weight I want to be at, also before Mounjaro I had quite a bad drinking problem, and it's also helping with that. So I'm still in the same boat here with the price increases, of course. Before I get into the dosage side, a little bit of an update. So it is week 19 now for me. As I said before, I've got down to my goal weight of 79 to 80 kilos. The next steps for me are maintaining that weight, trying to build a bit of muscle if possible in the gym, and also building healthy habits, continuing to eat better, think about what I'm eating to make sure when I do decide to come off Mounjaro, I can continue those habits and not put the weight back on. How I'm currently dosing, so I've been short dosing, splitting my dose, whatever you want to call it, rather than taking an injection every 7 days. I've been doing it 3.5 days for a couple of months now, and I found it really works for me. I think having the dosage the way I'm doing it means I'm not getting kind of any cravings at the end of the week, not only for food but also the alcoholic drinks. Also, I found it a bit easier to tailor my dose and put it to the level I've got a bit more control over it realistically, which I think is a bit important, and I'll come on to that later in the video. So I'm currently taking 2 milligrams every 3.5 days, so 4 milligrams per week at the moment. But I am going to look to see if I can tailor that a little bit and reduce it a little bit more. Again, more to get the most out of the pen. Also, as I've said on previous videos, it's not about complete appetite suppressant for me. I want to make sure that I am using willpower as well here, so that I'm in a better position when I do decide to stop taking Mounjaro. I still get a lot of messages, comments, people asking about different dosing styles. I have done previous videos before on split dosing, golden doses. I will put a link for them up here. But I wanted to put everything in one video, so it's all in one place, especially at this time when it's going to be more difficult for people on this journey. I thought it'd be beneficial for everybody to have it all in one place. So, you know, if you want to look at doing this kind of thing to help afford to continue using Mounjaro, it makes sense. Firstly, split dosing or short dosing, whatever you want to call it. Taking the dose outside of guidelines, so rather than 1 injection per week, personally I'm doing it again every 3.5 days, so half weeks pretty much. I have seen other people do it every 5 days, 4 days. As long as you're not doing it shorter than 3, you're absolutely fine, I believe. But again, this is just more my opinion. Not only a financial benefit to split dosing, but also really helping you to tailor your dose and not get the end of week cravings a lot of people will get. So tailoring the dose, for me, as I said before, I'm trying to work out the least amount of Mounjaro I can possibly take every 3.5 days. Firstly, again, so there's a lot of willpower involved here. I'm not just fully reliant on Mounjaro, but also financially, you know, the longer you can make a pen last, the better it's going to work out. Now, a lot of people ask about the 30-day rule. So Eli Lilly do state that a pen is only usable for 30 days once it's been first used. I believe this is more down to if it's not refrigerated. So once a pen has been used and kept out of the fridge, it has a 30-day shelf life when it has to be used. Once that 30 days has passed, it's not a case of it turns immediately to poison, more a case of the medication itself will start to degrade to become less effective. Personally, I keep my pen in the fridge at all times anyway, so I don't really see the problem there. And since I've been doing it, I haven't noticed any reduction in the performance of Mounjaro on the latter half of the pen I use. With this type of dosing schedule as well, what I found is I can, like I said, tailor my dose a bit better. If I go a bit too low on one of the days and it's not as effective as I want it to be, I've only got 3.5 days until my next injection. So it's not a case of waiting a full week to have to inject again. So again, it gives you a bit more customizability, let's say, with the dosing itself. So you can kind of lower it a bit more, understand how it reacts with you. If you're feeling that you do need that bit extra, the next 3.5 days, just slightly upping it. By doing this, you can then make sure that you're using the least amount of Mounjaro you need to be able to get the effects you want. Again, helping with the cost effectiveness of it. And again, if you're like me and you want to have the willpower involved to help you come off Mounjaro quicker, because it is going to be more expensive, it'll help that way as well. With working out how long the pen will last, how many clicks you need, all of the mathematical side with the Mounjaro KwikPen, I predominantly used the GLP-1 plotter. It is a really useful tool. It gives you a bit of a graph. I will put a bit of a clip from one of my previous videos here just to show you how I use that. Not only that, but one of the channels I follow, the Fat Old Climber, who's awesome, he has come up with a website which is a bit simpler to use and a bit more detailed, that pulls information from the GLP-1 plotter. And there you can just select the dosage, how often you're taking it, and then at the bottom it'll tell you how long the pen will last, all the information you need. I will leave a link in the description for that. It's a bit easier to use in the GLP-1 plotter. Of course, with splitting the dose, there are slightly increased risks. Now, I did a bit of research, of course, before going down this path, The only one thing I can find is that the more times you put a needle into the pen, the more chance there is of bacteria or any nasties getting put into the liquid. Again, I haven't found any negative effects. Whether or not I've been lucky, I don't know. But I think as long as the pen's refrigerated, you're using sterilising wipes, the chances of that happening are significantly less. But again, it's one of those things, do at your own risk, of course. We're all adults here. If you want to make a decision, do it. But I would definitely seek advice first. So, cue the video of the GLP-1 plotter. So, if you add in GLP-1 plotter to any search engine, this will come up. So ultimately, you can go down, select the dosing, what injection you're taking. So for my case, it's obviously Mounjaro. How often the dose schedule is currently, and then I'll do from week 1 to week 8 to give me a good amount of data, and click compare. And then do the next dosing. So with this, it's 2 milligram. Again, Mounjaro, but I'll do it every 3 to 5 days, so half a week. Click the plot button, and that'll bring up the graph. So it gives you the different kind of schedules here. So on my original schedule, it peaks at kind of 4.692 and then dips at 2.413. Whereas a new schedule, it's 4.868 and then dips at 3.803. So as you can see, quite a big difference there. I'm ultimately looking to have a more steady peak and dip rather than the quite dramatic ones on my current dosing. Ultimately, this is for my dose, of course, so you can always go on to this and check out for yourself. So the second way of getting more from the KwikPen is the golden dose, the 5th dose. So all Mounjaro KwikPens have 4 weekly doses in them. There is a bit of overage left at the end, which you can inject. I've been using the golden dose for the past month or two. Again, not really found any difference with it. I don't think it's any less effective than the initial 4. I have noticed that the video I posted, the updated golden dose video, again, I'll put a link up here for, has started getting more views. Again, I think because more people are looking into it, as the prices are going up, it's just another way to extend the life of the pen. So with mine, because I am split dosing my Mounjaro, I actually do 2 golden doses at the end of each KwikPen. With the golden dose or 5th dose and how to extract it, I'll put a clip from one of my previous videos in a second. But again, I think for me personally, if it's a case of getting the most out of my pen or stopping Mounjaro because of the prices, it's better for me to risk the golden dose, risk the split dosing to continue on Mounjaro, because I believe the alternative for me is falling back into old habits, which is again going back to eating unhealthily, drinking to excess, which would ultimately for me be a bigger risk than the small risks, let's say, with the different dosing schedules or golden doses on Mounjaro. Okay then, so I have the KwikPen here. I've also got the insulin needles needed to get the 5th dose out. I've also got a box here of the CarePoint KwikPen needles, just for reference. I'll also leave a link to where to get these down below. You can buy these on Amazon, but they're stupidly expensive. I think 30-35 quid. I've got a link for UK Medi. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that, just a link to their website. And then from there, I think you can get it for about 5-6 quid. And that's 100 needles. So if you are split dosing, microdosing, etc., this would be very beneficial to have, because I know that suppliers only give you 5-6 needles per KwikPen. So ultimately, with the 5th dose, as you can see from this pen here, once you've done the 4 doses, and there are little markers on the edge here, I don't know if you can see those, but this is what you'll be left with. So it's the overage, I think it's called, which is the last bit. I think it's a bit more medication, just so you can prime the needle each time when you're taking your doses. So on the pen, if I quickly zoom in, you'll be able to see. So each pen is exactly the same, apart from the level, so the concentration of dose per injection. So as you can see here, each pen comes with 4 doses of 0.6ml solution. So 4 doses at 0.6 means 2.4ml of solution that can be administered. And of course, it's supposed to be once weekly. When I did research on this myself, people were kind of forcing this open. I think you could do that with the older pens, but I did try it with this one, and it's just impossible. I mean, if you can get that open, you're a lot stronger than me. I think you'd have to really kind of break the pen to get to it. And again, as I said previously, I don't think that feels like the right option. You have to kind of break the pen, and making sure that you're getting the right amount of medication, of course, is important. So I didn't feel too comfortable with this. So if you can't do it through the pen itself, the next step is this. As you can see, this is the insulin needle I use to extract Mounjaro, which is full 100 units. If I zoom in, so the full needle itself can hold 100 units, but realistically you only need 60. So I'll show you on the pen. It says here, 0.6ml, which then works out at 60 on the insulin needle. So just up to there. And that'll give you a full dose regardless of what concentration you're using on the pen itself. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to get the Mounjaro out of the KwikPen using this syringe. Let's do it. The difference is with the needle itself. If I show you this with these care points. So when you look at the two side by side, both of these needles are the same gauge. So both of these needles are the same gauge. As you can see here, both 32 gauge on both needles. The only difference with these syringes is that this is an 8mm length of needle, whereas these are 4mm. So it's half the length, but the extra 4mm doesn't make a massive difference, if I'm honest. And it's not any more scary than the normal needle you'd be using anyway. So what I'll do is I'll show you the difference in needle size. So if I pop this needle on. As you can see, there's not a massive difference between the two needle lengths. They're exactly the same gauge, same width, so it's not any more painful than using the normal Mounjaro needle or the care point needles here. Just a little bit longer, to be completely honest. Now I'll take this off without jabbing myself in the finger. That would be good. Before withdrawing the medication out of the KwikPen, really useful tip that I didn't do the very first time, and it ultimately led to just loads of air bubbles in the syringe itself. So any brand new syringe will have a bit of an airlock here. So what you need to do is just hold the pen quite tightly and then pull it so it pops. So when you go to withdraw the Mounjaro from the KwikPen, all you need to do is gently pierce the red kind of rubber bung at the end of the KwikPen, being really careful not to bend the needle or blunten it, of course. And then from there, just hold it very, very gently and slowly withdraw the Mounjaro into the pen. Slowly withdraw the Mounjaro into the insulin needle itself. As I'm split dosing, so I'm doing half dose every 3.5 days, I'm going to go just below 30 units mark, or 0.3ml. And so I'll do 2 golden doses realistically, because there's still about there's still about 0.3ml left. So slowly remove the needle there from the end, give it a quick flick, and then prime the needle as you would with the normal KwikPen till a little bit comes out. Then that injection is good to go. As always, this channel has been a huge learning curve for me. I found out so much information, not from just doing my own research, but from you. So if there is anything that you know of, or any of the tips, tricks to help extend the life of the pen, or whatever it may be, please again leave a comment below. all the information's massively appreciated. As I said in my previous videos, I have created a 14-day meal prep kind of cookbook. If you do struggle with what to eat, GLP-1 friendly foods, or just want a bit of inspiration, there is a link in the description below for that. Not only do you get the kind of meal prep, but also I'll send you emails every day for 5 days. A bit more information, again, dosing, helpful products, apps, tips, etc. Check it out. I've got some really good response from it thus far, so hopefully it's helping people. As always, if you have watched to the end, thank you. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you on the next one.